Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to 168 Hours, your weekly roundup of the top local stories. I'm Abdullah Ahil, your host for the evening. Stay tuned. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz emphasizes that food safety is the bedrock of both public health and economic resilience. In a post shared on his official X account to commemorate World Food Safety Day, he reaffirmed the government's unwavering commitment to strengthening national food safety standards. Reflecting on this year's theme, Food Safety, Science in Action, the President underscored the vital role scientific research and evidence-based practices in tackling foodborne illnesses, protecting public well-being, and boosting the national economy. He also reiterated the government's dedication to ensuring that all food consumed by the public is safe, nutritious, and trustworthy, while urging collective action at every level to support the country's food safety agenda. In a separate message issued on the same day, the President highlighted the enactment of the Food Safety Act in 2024 as a key milestone in enhancing food safety across the Maldives. The law significantly expanded the responsibilities of the Maldives Food and Drug Authority, or MFDA, enabling it to take a leading role in maintaining the integrity of the national food system. The President further commended the MFDA's Muqabba social media campaign, describing it as an innovative and forward-thinking public engagement effort. He also acknowledged the ongoing advocacy initiatives directed at policymakers and food businesses, which have helped foster greater accountability and awareness within the national food landscape. President Dr. Muiz, at the end of his message, reaffirmed the government's ongoing commitment to advancing food safety and contributing meaningfully to global efforts aimed at protecting the health and well-being of citizens. The non-resident ambassador of Palestine, along with new envoys from 5 other countries, present their credentials to President Dr. Mohammad Muiz. Following the presentation, the non-resident ambassador of the State of Palestine to the Maldives, Ahab Ibrahim Mohammed Khalil, conveyed his heartfelt appreciation for the Maldives' steadfast support for the Palestinian cause. He noted that the Maldives' consistent stance and advocacy on the international stage have had a significant impact. President Dr. Muiz also reaffirmed the Maldives' unwavering commitment to supporting Palestine, emphasizing that this support would remain resolute. Diplomatic relations between the Maldives and the State of Palestine were formally established on the 4th of April 1982. The non-resident ambassador of Zimbabwe to the Maldives, Stella Nakoma, was warmly welcomed by the President following her presentation. The two engaged in discussions on matters of mutual interest, during which the ambassador highlighted the potential for strengthening bilateral relations. Diplomatic relations between the Maldives and the Republic of Zimbabwe were established on the 7th of January 1987. After presenting his credentials, the non-resident ambassador of Uzbekistan to the Maldives, Sardor Rustambev, and the President discussed potential areas of collaboration, including trade, economic development, and the expansion of educational cooperation. Diplomatic relations between the Maldives and Uzbekistan were established on the 7th of December 1994. President Dr. Muiz, after welcoming the non-resident ambassador of Denmark to the Maldives, Rasmus Abildgaard Christensenand, explored avenues to further strengthen cooperation between the Maldives and Denmark with a particular focus on economic development, climate change, and renewable energy. Diplomatic relations between the Maldives and Denmark were established on the 8th of November 1982. Following the presentation of credentials by the non-resident ambassador of the Hellenic Republic to the Maldives, Aliki Kotsomitopoulo, the President and the ambassador discussed ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation between the Maldives and Greece. Diplomatic relations between the Maldives and Greece were established on the 17th of September 1983. The non-resident High Commissioner of Uganda to the Maldives, Professor Joyce Kagwaramatsi Kikafunda, was welcomed by President Dr. Muiz, who conveyed his best wishes for a successful tenure. The President and the High Commissioner engaged in discussions aimed at strengthening bilateral ties between the Maldives and Uganda, with a focus on enhancing cooperation in areas such as economic development, climate resilience, education, and tourism. Diplomatic relations between the Maldives and Uganda were established on the 30th of November 1993. The Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources, Ahmed Shiam, announces that cold storages being developed in Felivaru and Tinadu are expected to be completed and operational within the current year. The minister shared the update in an interview given to state media outlet PSM News.
The minister noted that one of the most significant challenges facing the fisheries industry of the Maldives is the lack of adequate cold storage infrastructure. He said the government is actively working to establish cold storage facilities across various parts of the country as part of the efforts to address this. In his interview, Minister Shyam said if the issue of lack of cold storage can be resolved, the timely export of the catch can be maintained. He explained that the lack of proper storage has meant that fish exports are often not aligned with buyer demand, which has created challenges in securing the best prices. However, the minister noted that the establishment of additional cold storages will greatly enhance the opportunity to get a better price for fish exports. He stated the government is taking necessary steps to increase cold storage. The minister noted that the construction of a cold storage in Mulaku of Mimu Atoll has been awarded to a Saudi Arabian company. He stated that the cold storage is also expected to be brought to operational status soon after the project kicks off. The government aims to increase the fish storage capacity of the country to 25,000 tons by adding an additional 15,500 tons during the current presidential term.
Minister of Health Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim describes Maldives 2.0 digital transformation effort as crucial to complementing a long-term master plan underway with the World Health Organization or WHO to digitize the healthcare system.
In an exclusive interview with PSM News, Minister Nazim stressed the importance of the government's initiative to digitize the entire country, specifically identifying the health sector as one of the first priority areas under this project. According to the minister, the swift implementation of this project will transform the healthcare system of the country, including access to patient and other health-related records. Minister Nazim said the long-term digitization master plan in collaboration with the WHO is nearing completion with vaccination records already digitized. Through the system, parents and guardians of children born this year will be able to track important information such as the date of vaccination and the date of next vaccination, adding that efforts are underway to scrap the existing paper system and add the old data to the new system. The Maldives 2.0 initiative is a cornerstone of President Dr. Mohamed Muizz's strategic vision designed to drive sweeping digital reforms across all sectors and institutions. Launched under the President's special initiative, the project seeks to unify state institutions in the pursuit of fast, secure, and transparent services, ushering the Maldives into a new digital era.
Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Mohammed Amin says the government is advancing efforts to introduce cutting-edge vehicle security measures aiming to combat theft and vandalism while reinforcing public safety.
He reaffirmed the administration's commitment to implementing a comprehensive security framework for the nation's diverse fleet of land and sea vehicles during an exclusive interview with PSM News. Minister Amin stressed the necessity of a structured, technology-driven approach to vehicle security, particularly in the congested streets of Malé. As the capital faces mounting concerns over unsecured vehicles, he stated that the government is turning to modern solutions to addressing the growing risks. The rapid increase in motorcycles, cars, and speedboats across Malé, Minister Amin added, has heightened concerns over vehicle security. Many owners, he said, lack adequate protection, making enforcement efforts increasingly difficult. He acknowledged the limitations of law enforcement in overseeing each individual vehicle. To address these concerns, Minister Amin is proposing the adoption of radio frequency identification or RFID systems and established technology designed to improve vehicle tracking and security. He highlighted RFID's potential to transform enforcement efforts, making oversight more efficient while curbing fraudulent practices. With this system, Minister Amin noted that vehicle owners would receive alerts if their property is tampered with or stolen, while law enforcement agencies could more effectively regulate vehicle movement. A critical advantage, he said, is the elimination of counterfeit number plates, a practice that undermines existing security measures.
Minister of Divehi Language, Culture and Heritage Adam Nasir Ibrahim states the government plans to create a national heritage sector within the current 5-year presidential term, an initiative designed to strengthen the country's cultural identity and historical legacy.
He said the effort aims to institutionalize heritage preservation and provide a structured approach similar to those found in other nations. The proposed sector, Minister Adam Nasir said, will establish a framework for identifying and safeguarding cultural assets. With efforts already underway, the initiative seeks to clarify what constitutes Maldivian heritage and promote a deeper understanding of its significance. Among the key priorities, according to Minister Adam Nasir, is the preservation of Divehi, a fundamental pillar of Maldivian heritage. Minister Adam Nasir stressed, however, the cultural preservation extends beyond language, encompassing a broad spectrum of traditions and historical narratives. He pointed to the importance of local engagement, calling for the establishment of heritage associations on each island to ensure communities play an active role in conservation efforts. Such organizations, he said, would serve as advocates for heritage protection, fostering awareness and addressing concerns about cultural erosion. He added that long-term preservation will be difficult without local involvement. Concluding his remarks, Minister Adam Nasir called on all Maldivians to take an active role in preserving their heritage. He underscored the importance of safeguarding national identity, describing it as a responsibility shared by all citizens.
Set to establish a dedicated office in the Maldives, strengthening its commitment to the country's fisheries industry, a cornerstone of its economy. FAO Director General Chu Dong-yu confirmed the pledge during a meeting with Ahmed Shiam, the Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources, held on the sidelines of the 3rd United Nations Ocean Conference, or UNOC.
Deeper engagement in the nation's fishing sector. Director General Dong-yu outlined plans for direct technical assistance, a move welcomed by Minister Shiam, who highlighted FAO's long-standing collaboration in the industry. Among the organization's contributions, the Anchored Fish Aggregating Devices, or Anchored FADs project has proven instrumental in improving fishing efficiency across the country. The discussions extended beyond operational matters, turning to broader policy initiatives. Director General Dong-yu and Minister Shiam examined the need for a comprehensive maritime law, a crucial framework for managing marine resources with greater oversight. Attention is also turned to mariculture, a sector poised for expansion and economic diversification. With FAO deepening its role, Director General Dong-yu underscored the strategic importance of fisheries to the Maldives, linking sustainable practices to economic stability and food security. The establishment of a permanent FAO office in the country will mark a turning point and is expected to enhance policy development and resource management while reinforcing global conservation efforts.
Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources Ahmed Shiam reveals that the government is aiming to place 36 fish aggregating devices, or FADs, across the Maldives.
The placement of fish aggregating devices, FADs, is a government-led initiative aimed at supporting and enhancing the welfare of fishermen. These FADs include both pole and line and sports FADs, providing valuable resources and opportunities for fishing communities. In an exclusive interview with PSM News, Minister Shiam described further development of sports fishing as crucial to diversifying both the fishing and tourism industry. Highlighting the growing global interest for sports fishing, he said the vision of President Dr. Mohamed Moise is to commercialize and develop sports fishing as a revenue-generating sector of the country. He said the government is aiming to place 36 FADs across the Maldives, specially designed for sports fishing enthusiasts, in efforts towards reaching the goal. These sports fishing specific devices attract marine life by providing artificial shade through floating structures, enhancing local fishing opportunities. To amplify identification, they are painted yellow and installed 3 to 6 nautical miles offshore from inhabited islands, distinguishing them from pole and line FADs. While deploying new devices remains a priority, maintaining existing structures is equally critical. The ministry oversees a program to repair damaged devices, ensuring their operational integrity. Production and installation are centered in Hulumale, where facilities are equipped to meet growing demands. Recognizing this need, plans are underway to establish additional centers in the northern and southern regions, including Funadu in Shavian Atoll and Addu Atoll. Each FAD is assigned a unique identification number, ensuring effective management. Within this program, 2 distinct categories of FADs play a pivotal role. Doshi Kandufati devices cater to skipjack tuna fishing using pole and line methods, while Wadu Kandufati Devices such as the one in Shavian Atoll serve the specific needs of sports fishing enthusiasts. Nationwide, 65 devices are dedicated to traditional tuna fishing, alongside 26 designated for sports fishing.
The incumbent administration's unwavering commitment to the ongoing fiscal reform efforts has seen Fitch Ratings, one of the Fitch's assessment that the country's tourism sector continues to expand and gross foreign exchange or FX reserves have increased following the support from the Reserve Bank of India.
The Maldives' gross foreign reserves increased to $856 million in April 2025 from a record low of $371 million in September 2024. The increase was driven by a $400 million drawdown under a currency swap arrangement signed by the Maldives Monetary Authority, or MMA, with the RBI in October 2024, which alleviated imminent external liquidity strains. Gross foreign reserves also rose due to solid tourism-related receipts and the newly implemented Foreign Currency Act, which mandates tourism-related businesses to exchange either 20% of monthly foreign currency receipts or a fixed amount up to $500 per tourist arrival into rupiah with local banks. The Ministry of Finance and Planning, in a statement following Fitch's rating, pointed out that tourist arrivals to the Maldives have increased by 9.4% so far this year compared to 2024, which had boosted Fitch's GDP growth forecast of 4.8% for 2025. The ministry said the government expects GDP growth to reach 6% in 2026 with the opening of the new terminal at Vilena International Airport, or VIA. Fitch's assessment amid significant measures for fiscal reforms and financial sustainability as the country maintained its budget surplus so far this year, crossing $71.3 billion as of June 5th. It added that the budget surplus has continued due to improved revenue and strong budgetary controls to bring state expenditure down to a reasonable level. The ministry has noted that revenue, including foreign exchange earnings, has increased significantly due to new revenue measures such as airport taxes and fees, green tax, and import duty rates. The ongoing and planned fiscal reforms and austerity measures will boost productivity and investments, paving the way for lower debt-to-GDP ratio under the government's medium-term debt strategy. The government has indicated its commitment to increasing transparency and results-oriented are underway to devise medium-term debt strategies and introduce structural reforms aimed at improving the overall investment climate to boost productivity.
Investment in marine conservation, warning that climate resources. Ahmad Shyam stressed the need for decisive financial commitments during a high-level discussion on the sidelines of the 3rd United Nations Ocean Conference, or UNOC3, held in Nice, France from the 9th to the 13th of June.
With policymakers and environmental experts in attendance, Shyam outlined the growing urgency of protecting fragile marine ecosystems. He underscored the Maldives' proactive conservation strategies, highlighting ongoing efforts designed to enhance resilience and sustainability in the face of escalating environmental challenges. The country, he elaborated, has spearheaded initiatives in sustainable fisheries management and coral reef restoration, setting a global benchmark in marine conservation. He added that its programs have been developed to preserve biodiversity while ensuring long-term ecological balance, reinforcing the Maldives' leadership in ocean protection. Despite these achievements, Minister Shyam cautioned that the Maldives cannot address these challenges alone. Delivering remarks at the UNOC3 conference, the minister stressed the importance of international collaboration and urged nations to make meaningful steps to safeguard marine ecosystems. Small island developing states, he noted, continue to face significant financial barriers in securing necessary funding, with existing aid mechanisms often proving inaccessible or insufficient. Developed nations and financial institutions, he asserted, must facilitate more equitable access to funding that enables vulnerable countries to sustain conservation efforts. Without stronger financial commitments, global marine ecosystems remain at risk, warned Shyam, underscoring the urgent need for a collective approach to ocean preservation.
Minister of State for Fisheries and Ocean Resources Aminat Hossain Sharif says the Maldives is on course to fully digitizing its fisheries data collection system in efforts to blend tradition with technology to future-proof one of the world's most sustainable fisheries.
Speaking during the ongoing Third United Nations Ocean Conference being held in Nice, France, Aminath shared how the Maldives is blending tradition with technology to future-proof one of the world's most sustainable fisheries. She said the Maldives is leading by example, from adopting selective fishing techniques and upgrading fleets with RSW systems to digitizing data and investing in electronic monitoring. Highlighting the significance of the fishing industry to the Maldives, the state minister said the fishing industry shares 11% of the country's entire labor force, while fisheries accounts for 90% of Maldives' total exports. She said efforts to fully digitize the fisheries data collection system would enable near real-time data reporting.
Modern fisheries governance demands the systematic integration of scientific data, digital reporting, and robust monitoring frameworks. In the Maldives, we are expanding our national fisheries information system to fully digitize fisheries data collection and enable near real-time data reporting. This digital transformation is essential not only for efficiency, but for ensuring that decisions are grounded in accurate, timely information.
In line with President Dr. Mohamed Muizz's vision, Aminath said the Maldives is committed to transitioning towards a new generation of fishing vessels equipped with refrigerated seawater or RSW systems, which has already led to an increase in fish quality and operational performance.
The Maldives Transport and Contracting Company, or MTCC, is making significant strides towards implementing the high-speed Raja Transport Link, or RTL, ferry service across all atolls by the end of the year. MTCC Chief Executive Officer Ahmad Saudi states that the initiative supports President Dr. Mohamed Muizz's vision to modernize and expand the country's maritime transport infrastructure, ensuring improved accessibility for residents.
According to Saudi, with accessibility at the core of the expansion effort, the initiative requires a robust infrastructure plan. In an exclusive interview with PSM News, Saudi outlined the logistical complexities of the project, citing the need for additional vessels and personnel to ensure seamless operations. The MTCC, in coordination with the Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation, is overseeing the service rollout. A financial package from the Indian government amounting to $6.49 million has been designated for the RTL service, and Saudi elaborated that procurement of essential vessels is already in progress. According to him, a fleet of 56 vessels is required to fully implement the network. He acknowledged that current shortages present operational challenges, but expressed confidence that once the required vessels are introduced, the service will be deployed nationwide within the projected timeframe. As the procurement of vessels progresses, Saudi elaborated that MTCC is advancing with a structured rollout plan. He noted that vessel production for these regions is currently underway, supported by the Indian government's financial contribution. The RTL network is being developed in 6 regions, divided into 3 distinct phases. Currently, the system has successfully linked 81 islands across 9 atolls. Final preparations are ongoing for the launch of RTL services in Ra Atoll this month, with Ba Atoll scheduled to follow in the coming weeks.
The Minister of Tourism and Environment, Tariq Ibrahim, says the government is on track to achieve the target of increasing revenue from tourism industry to $6 billion by the year 2027. In an exclusive interview with PSM News, Minister Tariq pointed out that the primary objective of the 5th Tourism Master Plan is to increase tourism revenue to $6 billion.
According to the minister, the government has already launched several initiatives to reach the target, including the strengthening of air and sea transport networks to ensure ease of transportation and access. These efforts, he said, will push the country closer towards the 2027 target, which will boost foreign exchange in the economy and accelerate the pace of development. He said, quote, "Then tourism will be expanded by increasing the number of tourists coming through Maldives' main gateway, the airport, and increasing the number of aircraft landing at the airport," end of quote. Highlighting the country's historic target of attracting 2.3 million tourists to its shores this year, the minister said Maldives will cross 1 million tourists by June 7th. Minister Tariq also urged locals to do everything possible to protect the environment, as 80% of tourists come to Maldives to see and enjoy its natural beauty. He also stressed on the importance of bringing about sustainable development without destroying its natural resources.
That's all we have for now. Thank you for watching 168 Hours. See you next time.
ರಾಜ್ಯಗ ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಆಮು ಬಲಿತಕಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಬ ಬಲಿ ಜೈಫೋರಿಕನ್ ದೆನಗಣ್ಣಾಣಿಕೇನೆ ಬಲಿಗೆ ಅಲಾಮೆತ್ತಕಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಬ ಬಲಿನ್ ರಕ್ಕಾತಿರುವುಮ ಕುರೆವೇನೆ ಕಂತತಕಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಬ ಮಿ ಹುರಿಯಾ ಸುವಾಲಿಗೆ ಜವಾಬ್ ಹೋದುಮ ಹಾಸ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕಾಯಕೋ ಒಣ್ಕೋ
ದಿವೆಹಿ ಮಿಣವಂಕಂ ಹೋದ ಮಕ್ಕೂರಿ ಮಸ್ಸೆಕ್ಕತುಗ ಸಿಲೋಣುಗ ಹಿಂಗಾದಿಯ ಮುಹಿಮ್ಮು ಕಂತತ್ತ
PSM ಗೆ ಟಿವಿ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತಕ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತ ಮಿಹಾರು PSM Air ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ನು ತಿಯ ಬೇಫ್ಲುನ್ನ ಹಿಲೆ ಬಲಾಲೆವೇನೆ ಅದಿ ಅಡುವ ಹಾಲೆವೇನೆ ದುನಿಯೆಗೆ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ತಾಗುಹುರೆಗೆ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ಗಡಿಯಕು PSM ಗೆ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತ ಬಲಾಲುಮ ಅವಹ PSM Air app ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕುರವ್ವ ಮಿಹಾರು ಆಪ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ನ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಇಂದ ಮಿ ಆಪ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕೊಲ್ಲವೇನೆ
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. Fashion podcast ka muling show ekang me habe fno marhaba danno. Meda kimi dehas fanseson haruge June mohon saada onu 2001 saal haruge hajju mohon meda ki ashar wana dos nakatabadaruge mi hedena katu meda kimi eka hafta ga hon hiru dos eto den hafta bandu demi eto da ma den ni mehen hafta bandu eno to sayed
mi den hafta bande kamaku den mara gina kankam aningen mihar den hafta banduge reving kuriyette to den ebidan aningen badanyamu sarkar majafuna civil servant unna den kuda chuttiyeka ve ingeto enames anunaken henno den ma gina bayakad den mi hafta bandu bande kotaka tipe hengeto මීගේ තරෙන් ඔන්න ෆාග කරවේ කමකී ජදවාන් මී අවුන්ගේ තරේග මිහාරු masakke mi kurange to mi emmenna kinge to eha ಅವನನ್ನ ಬೇಕಾರು ಹಿಂಗೆತೋ ಬೇಕಾರು ಗೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಹೆದಕುರ ಬಯನ್ ನುಂಗೆತೋ ಎವ್ವರ ಅವನಿಗೆ ದಿರುಳುಮುಗ ಕಂಕಮುಗ ವರ ಗಿನಮಿಹು ಅನೆ ಬೊರಕೊಮ್ಮಿ ಫೆಣ್ಣನಿ ಹಿಂಗೆತೋ ಏಗೆ ತೆರೆ ಎಮ್ಮೆ ಬೊಡು ಎಕ್ಕಮಕಿ ರಂಗಣು ಆಮ್ದನಿಯೇ ಲಿಬುಣಸ್ ಬೆಸ್ ಹಿಂಗೆತೋ ರಂಗಣು ಆಮ್ದನಿಯೇ ಲಿಬುಣಸ್ ಬೆಸ್ ಹರದು ಬರದು ಹಿಫೆಟ್ ಮಟ್ಟಕ mi korenje mi masakke ginawu ngeto ofudanje takudi bodu ngeto mi emme bodu ekkame gotu faha kodana bohiya wahikan ma wara bodu hede komme mahakus almen nallibe musara hama bodu insatte ngeto gaganaka musara ga timbakula ebbaye dennevikas do kanwana alunan himane hama gina මීහුන්ගේ තිම්බෑකුල එබ්බැහම දානි මේ බෝහියාවයිකම්ගේ මේ
මුල මුසාර එක්කොත් දක්කාම සූල
එහෙන් අන් මේ ෆාහකුරි එහෙන්වීම මී දෙන් අනෙක්කා දෙන් මිදිබේ රස්මී අග්ගඩීරු පහුග අස්දු හගීගතු ගයිගේතෝ දෙන් අගුන්මින් මීහාගේ ටෙන්ෂන් මච්චද්දියුම් ආහිරුග mi dimawani tafaat ekeki sabtaka hore kulli maru echemiyan ana warak gina mihun mikam faahaga kore warak ge mihun ebabune kibegin he anen he rajyega kensaru bali ginawani ingeto kibegin he rajyege kidney bali ginawani ingeto mi den ane balitan eba petor ehnames balitan eba agumen terega eba ule eki agun kamboduwa men warabase bho ingeto ehennames agumenge dirulumuge kankan leifam heru gota dirulum battan kure fo gotum mibatuge kankama hore gagganaka vetvithi emmas terege singeto agun komme mi dannoni ki kundimaru ginawani mi mihin tida vieke no ehennames agun mi dannoni ಹಾಲತು ಮಿಹನ್ ದಿಮಾ ವಾತಿ ಅವನ್ ಮುನ್ನ ಕುಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅವನ್ಗೆದು ಅದಿ ಕುಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿ ಮಸತ ದಿಮಾ ಮಿಯಾ ಗುಳಿಗೆನ್ එකහද මරු බයියක මුෂහෙලු නේද මිබාවතු කංකන් එබ දිමා වේ මිහින් දිමා වාන්නොන්තෝ ජදුවාන් බල්ලවා මිමහු කුදි දක්කාෆියා අන්නමහු කුදි දක්කන් ಅನ್ನಮೋಗೆ ಕುಲ್ ದಕ್ಕಾದುಹ ಹಮೆ ತಿಮನ್ನ ದಾರಿ ಹಮ ಕುನಾನೆ ಗೊತಕಿ ಕೊಬಾತೋ ಎವಿಸ್ನುಗೆ ಬತಿಬ್ಬೆ ಎಂಗತೋ ಏರು ಮಿಯೊನ್ನನಿ ಬೆಂಕು ನಗಾಫೆ ಫನ್ಸಾಸ ಸುಫಿಯಾಗೆ ಲುಯಿಲೋಣ ದಕ್ಕಂಜೆ ಬಾ ಬೊಡುವೆ ಎಂಗತೋ ಏಗೆ ಕುರಿಮ ಹೋಗ ಬೆಂಕ ದಕ್ಕಂಜೆ ಬಾ ನು ದಕ್ಕಾಮಿ ಹೋತಿ ಎಂಗತೋ ದೆನ್ ಕೊಬಾತೋ ಅನೆ ಉಳೆ ದಿರಿಯುಳೆ ತಣ ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಬಾವೆಗೆನ್ ಗೆ ಫರ್ನಿಚರುಗೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ದಾರಿವಸ್ ಒತಿ ಎಂಗತೋ ಏಕಂವಸ್ ಒತಿ අනේ බේස් විහාරයේ දේරුග ගන්නන් අනේ ડોක්ටර් දින් බේස් තෝක දෙබාකුල එබ්බා නොදිබ ඉංගතෝ එබ්බා ලිබෙනි දෙමස් පහුන් අදි එබස් මී අනේ කිව් එක ජෙහිගෙන් කමවනි ඉංගතෝ මිහිර කංකමා හොර ඉංගතෝ අරුණ හිතන් ගන්නනි වේත් විදිය ගාගඩක 20ක ආහාර වල්මගේ රාජ්‍යයේ ගින රයිතුන් හේද කොෆි මිටෙන්ෂන් ඉංගතෝ හම හගියතු ඉංගතෝ आदि मिदन्ने मස්සද වෙරින මාලෙක මැති ඉන්තිහාය බොඩෝ ඉන්තිහාය බොඩෝ
මීග නැතේ ඉංග තොමි අවස් හල්ල වන්නාන කොත්තස් නැතේ ඉංග තෝ දැන් මේ අවුන මෙහෙම දෙන්නේ දැන් බය මෙහෙම වුණා දැන් ආදා මීද කුඩ කොට හේති වා එන්න නැතේ මිදන්නවනේ විශාලක මිකන් හල්ලු කුරන් එබහුර ඉංග තෝ එක් සරකාරතකම් ෆියවලව මිසල්කාරන් සබාලව එක ෆියවලත ඉංග තෝ රංගල ෆියවලත එන්නවස් ඒ ෆියවලතක එක්කොන් හම අනෙක්කොළ මස්සල් තවසම ඉතුරුවේ ඉගත මිසාලක දිරියුණුමුගේ හාල්තු නගල කුරුමට්ටක මේ සර්කාර මොස්සෆුන් ඒගත මුනි දවල්සක මොස්සෆුන්ගේ මුසාරය ඉනායත්තකන් හිය බදල්තන් එත ෆරකු කියන එත එනම සම මුසාරයෙන් හිය බදල අයි ගේ කුලි බොඩුවේ ඒත මුසාරයෙන් හම හිය බදල අයි යන්නේ බාසාරුක තකති ගාගු බොඩුවේ එහෙනුතෝ ආනේ බජිලෙක් ගාගු බොඩුවේ එත ආනේ සෑවන්දාරු එහෙම මිහිම් වඤ්ඤක මි දුහ කොස්මි හම මේ මන්සිල කාමකන් දෙවේ ඒ මේ වාගතක දෙන් හගේගතුක මාලේ සරහද්ද මිහුන් තොජ්ජහ ජෙහෙ ජෙහුන් ඒ වරබොඩ මස්සේ දෙන් තොජ්ජෙහෙම ජෙහනේ සේක වර කින සෝබතකෙන් උරීම එම්මෙ බොඩ සෝබකි ෆසේහ වසීෆාග ෆුර්සතු දිපෙනි මිතරු ඉගත දෙන් මීග අවුල්මන්න මේ විස්නාලංජය කම්බකි තෙදේ මාද සරහද්ද මර ෆසේහ mi wazifa fursat libe igeto eboy wazifa ma intihang eboy wazifa adiwesama mi waki dairata ko mi badali maha ada kurana wazifa berden ega musaraya wazifa beenum wa wazifa libuma musara beenum wa minwar libuma e muli tafas kameta to wazifa ebelibe ehnames wazifa gos libe mi muli amdani mi heda kurenjeni mi diriwulatanuga kuyyasha mi biltaka mi kharadu barada mi kuranche iyato ehmwima mi hagigatu wazifa diumake nudiyumake evvar wa mihum waseba tibe iyato wazifa mi dani ki kuranto mi dani mi diriwuluga kankan mi zarurat fudda dafa den ena hamajege diriwulu mattaka ehnames di anekka sama anem mahuga mi musaraga intizaru gonte hama liberan e huswi edu hotere to eme mi halategga ule mihum waragina maade iyato den miga mi oggotake alume mika manage kurana kineto badaruga manage kuravidana kuraven kuri kanka ehnames misalaka maadega mi kuyya මේ apartment දිරිවුණ එකශීක මාරුක තන්තන් කුయ్య දෙන් හුන්න අගකත්තා ගන්න අනේ ඒ කුయ్యන් හිෆේනේ එතෝ
එව සාමන්න අහගිගතුග එව්වස් සරකාරකම් ගත මෙහතන එව්වස් සරකාරකම් අදිවස් අදාජ හෙන්දෙමස් control කරවුණු කමෙන් නෝ ගත
එදෙමස් කුරවැනේ ගත
එමිය හිටන් ගරි අගේ කියන්නේ අනෙක්ක බල්ලවා ජතුමන් කඩේ එලිගෙන් ගානුණුග එබ පුනේ mi koyyedde tanegge ane kuli nunegene dodaru ngeto gina tantanuga me rajya
ura
dodaru pay kore
jene me social media ga me apartment ta koyyedde tantan me baladi madatto pennane hama dodaru jahapar misalaka luxury femwer ga apartment ke etanuga me koyyake ane me fassas noni idehas fassateka me dolare yata jahafu den ifandi amna dollarunne tiyonne veena dollarun danya de beeru mihunna chitiyonne amaz ko family ngeto enos eves ekan kuravena gotenno beeru mihunna ekani kuravene me khidumet devene vyafari rajya ko nove emme kodameno me resort detto me sida faturere kamatta bi amaz ko beeru mihunna ta enos eves sama divenno khidumet denje ngeto de khidumet de ngeto rajya me haittarega warogoda hotata ko ngeto resort ta ko mes divessa ko diyama ahati divessenno henu dename khidumet ekya hena fonu ennu danaka enatun hama divhe fasain mi enatun mi fasas badagana igeto ehnames mi hama sida faturere kama mi dollarun amdane hoduma amaz kokken hingave farita den adi amudu mi maade mi hundula rarashuga maala saradduga ade enun tantanuga mi kuyedde apartment ta mi enun gotaka kinetto kuriye gende wen eto ema mi hengunna kanka ragalu kuran eba jende ehnames ekan ragalu kurumuges wara bodachi dati unda gotake bahure ei eta zamana vijje mihem mikankan hingata ehme mi kulliyaka miedu ekan hallu kuran masege kuriye sebodu masseleka wani wes iheto ehmema mi ragalu koldan je kankan hisabad dakama wano miharu alumenge terega mi fahakan as ba mi nurakkatir badita mi intihayen alumenge terege be ituru ima mihage mi sekundiya mi kura bara detto mi haswe kamboduma depression detto mihen gossa mi anxiety amika eta baye detto eta nutanoskam alumenge terege behmima mi geteren sida mi weni miheka dimay konkametto ehen alumenda kan hoda kan alumenda fennan oy hagegataki alumenge terege hama ritiko mi zimmadaru kama එක මසේ කුරන්ති බේත ස්වානුන්නේ හම කුල්ලියක අනදු ඉරුවරාර වන්න හබරකි මේ ඒන කුල්ලියක නියාවෙච්ච ඒන නියාෆව ෆෙනිච්ච නොන්නේ මෙත්ත දෙන් අරාව වෙට්ටුනිය දෙන් දියරුති නියාෆෙ දැන් කොම්මෙ මියකස් මරුවාන ඊට මරකි යවුමෙන් එවස් මියක ඒ හිෆේටෙන් එච්චනු ඒ දිරිජ්ජ කොම්මෙ එච්ච ඒ මරුවාන එච්ච කනෙලිෆෝ ආජලෙන් ලිබ්ෆවා චෙහිමිම එච්චගේ අජලු හමවිම එච්ච මේ නිමිගෙන් දාන අරුන් මේ කොම්මෙ මිය කිව සම ඒ දුව සන්නාන බයි ඊතෝ ඒ කිතම්මෙ බාරුගත මිහෙක්කම වෙස් කිතම්මෙ නිකමති මිහෙක්කම වෙස් කිතම්ම බොඩ වසීෆෑක උලේ මිහෙක්කම වියස් එමිහක කණඩ ආජද හමයි මියකු ජේනය හමද ලෝමරාද නෙත්ව දාංජේන ඒ හගේක එහනමස් ඒ හගේකතය කියාප අවුල්මෙන්නක මිදෙන්ව කාලකංකම ෆරවා කොට කොල්ලුමස් ඒ හමජයකමෙන්නු දෙත්තෝ අවුන්මෙන්න මේ දීනමර විදාල්වා ගොතුක මේ අවුන්මගේ මෑවකම දීනුක සංවාෆනි සබබතවක හිෆුම දෙත්තෝ නිය අවුන්මෙන් ලබ්වාා මේ සිහත් සනාමතුන් බෙහෙට්ටුමට්ටක හුරි සබබතක මේ සිහත සමාලූම සිහතකී වරබොඩ නියමතික්කම වාති ඒ නියුම ඒ අවුන්මෙන් සුවාල් කරන එච්චකම විදානහම මේ අවුල්ම බජය බල කියනතො මේ වනි හයිත ඒත අවුන්න මේ දැ එකමිහුන් එකවාහ දක්කන දෙන් එබැහු ගබුල් කරන එච්ච කුරණි එහෙන් එකම්වාන් දූකොල්නුක බදලුග ರಂಗಳು ದಿರಾಸಾತಕೆಂ ಹೇದಿ ಅಳುಮೆಂಗೆ ತೆರೆಗ ಕುದ್ಲಿ ಮರುತಂ ಇತುರು ವಣ್ಣುನಿ ಸಿಹಿಗೊತ ಮೇನಿಕಂಕಂ ದಿಮಾವಾಂ ಮೇನಿ ಮೇನಿ ಸೌಬತಕೆಂ ಎಬ ಹುಟ್ಟೆ ನೂನಿ ನೆತೆ ದೆತ್ತೋ ಮೀ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆಸ್ ಎಕ್ಕಮೆ ಯಗಿನ್ ಕಮ ಅಕೀಗ ಮೀ ಕಮಾಬೆ ಇಲ್ಮಿ ಬೇಫುಂಗೆ ಮೀ ದಿರಾಸಾತಕೆ ಗಾದಿಗ ಹಾಮವಾಂಗೆ ಬಜ್ಜೆ ಹಾಮ ಮೀಹ ಕುಣಿಯಾವಾಯರ ಕುಲ್ಯಕ ಮೀ ಮುಚ್ಚಮೋ ತೆರೆ ವಾದಕಿದಾನ ಮೀ ಮಿಹಾರದೆಂ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಜೈಫಂ ವಾಗೊತೆಕೆ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಜೈಮದೆಂ ಹಮ ವಾಗೊತೆ ಮಿಹಮ ಈಗತೋ ಬಯ್ಯೆವೆಸ್ ನಗಳವೆಸ್ ನುವೆ ಹಮ ಕುಲ್ಲಿ ಮರುತೋ ಸಮ ಏಗ ಸೋಬುನೆ ಮಿನ ದೆಂ ಎಮಿಹ ಕಬೂಲ್ ಕುರಾನ ಹಮ ಮೀ ಸೀದಾ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಗ ಕಮಿಕೆ ಈಗತೋ ಅಣೆಮಿಹ ಕಬೂಲ್ ಕುರಾನಿ ಮೀ ದೆಂ ಅಳುಹುನ್ ಮೆನ್ನ මිහාර මේ දඬුවරකමගේ මේ භාවත්ත මාර්කයටක එක්කන් හුන්නච්චි මිද වරබ්බොඩ කෙමිකල් ඒක හුන්නානේ ඒ මේ ගස්කානා ගොතුගස් මේ බේනුම් කරන්නේ හැම සීදා කෙමිකල් එහෙම මම ඒක සවමුන්න මෙහෙම වනේ ඊට ඒන දැන් ඉතුරුච්ච කබුදන කරන්නේ කබුල් කරාම සීදා මෙහෙම තරකාරියා මේවා මේ බාසාරක මේ වික්කන් හුන්න කෙම්බොයමක භාවත්ත කුණාල මෙන්න ජෙහෙච්චගේ අන මිහ කබුල් කොෆාන ඒ මේ රාජ්‍යයෙන් බේරුම් එතර කුරා මේ කාඩුක භාවත්තකුන් දිමාව මස්සලෙක්කම ඒත
මිහාර මේක අවුන්ඩ මේක එම බොඩු කම්බඩුමකි හයිගතුක අවුන්ම වසීපාය ගොස් ලාරි හෝදා ආම්දනි හෝද මසෙක්කෙ මේ කුරණි ಹಿಂಗಮಜ್ಜೆಹೆ ಉಪಾವರಿ ತಿರುಳುಮೆಂ ಹೇದ ಕುರುಮ ದಿಬೆ ಮುಸಾರೆ ಅವನ್ಮೆಂ ಹಿಂಗಮ ಜಸ್ಸಾಲ ಆಯ್ದ ಏಕೀಗ ವಗುತ್ ಹೇದ ಕೊಲ್ಲ ಉಪಾವರಿ ಮಾಹೋದೆಗ್ಗ ಹಿಂಗಮ ಜಹಿದಾಗೆ ದಿರಿಯುಳುಂಗ ಬೇನ್ಮುಗ ಎಂಗೆತೋ එහෙ නමස් අවුන්මෙන්න කුරිමති වනීකි එකහද හාලෙත්තකෙන් නොන්ගෙතෝ අවුන්මෙන්ගෙ ತೆರೆಗ ಗಿನೈ ಇಂಗೆತೋ ಅವನ್ಮೆಂಗೆ ತೆರೆಗ ಗಿನೈ ಮಜಬೂರಿ ಹಾಲತೆಗ್ಗ ಮಾಲೆ ಆಸ್ ಇಂಗೆತೋ ಅವನ ದೆನ್ನ ವಿಧಾನ ಮಾಲೆಗ ದಿನಮೊಂದ ಆಬಾದಿಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಗನಕ ಅಡಿಯ ಫಸಿನ್ ಸತ್ತೇಕೆ ಇಂಗೆತೋ ದರಿನ್ನ ರಂಗಳು ಮುಸ್ತಕ್ಬಲೆನ್ ಹೋದಾ ದಿನ ಮಟ್ಟಕ ದರಿನ್ನ ರಂಗಳು ತೌದೀಮೆನ್ ಹೋದಾ ದಿನ ಮಟ್ಟಕ ಇಂಗೆತೋ ದರಿನ್ನ ರಂಗಳು ವಸೀಫಾನ್ ಹೋದಾ ದಿನ ಮಟ್ಟಕ ಮಿಕಾಲ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆಸ್ ಕಮೆಗ್ಗ ಬೇಣುಮೆಗ್ಗ ಮಿ ಮಾದ ಬದಲುವೆ ಮಿಕಾಲ ಕುರ್ಬಾಣಿ ತಕೆ ಬಮುಂದಾ ಮಿಹುಂಗೆತೋ ಮಿಸಾಲಕ ಏಯ್ ಬಪ್ಪ ಎಕ್ಕಮ್ಮ ಬಾಣಮೆಗೆತೋ ರಸ್ಮಿ ವಜೀಫಾಯ ಫೋಗ ಇತುರು ಮಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕುರ್ಮಟಕ ಅವನ್ನ ಫೆಣಿದಾನೆ ಹಮ ಟೆಕ್ಸಿ ಕುರಾತ ಗೆತೋ අදි එනුන් නූනස් මිනුනස් අදි එහෙම මසක්කතක උලේතම් පෙනිදාන දෙ මම්මයක වෙජ්ජියා දරින් මේ ස්කෝල ෆොනෝමා මිකංකම මශෝද උනම ෆෝග ඔෆිස් නිම්මාද අෆංගෙතෝ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಆಫೀಸ್ ತಕ ಉಳೆ ಹರ್ದನ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ವಿಸೆ ಮಸೆ ಕೊರೆಂಗೆತೋ ಎಕ್ಕದ ಮೀ